Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Good evening. God bless you tonight. We are certainly glad to be here this afternoon with you. We thank God for this opportunity always to come before you and give Him the glory and give Him the praise. We want to just really think about tonight. Do we really trust God? Do we really trust God? That's something for us to think about. Do we really, sincerely trust God? If we really think about that, we would really have to look at our lives and see how we have been handling things on our own, the way we want to do them, the way we feel like doing them. We have to go back and realize that we find ourselves not being able to wait on God, not being able to be still. I wish I had somebody help me today. Be still. Know that He is God. Do we really trust God just in some things, but not in all things? Do we really trust God? That is the question that we have to think about and that we have to answer. Do we trust God? Or do we just trust God when things are going good? When life is great? When everything seems to be going smooth in our lives? And it's very easy to trust God then. But what about when things are not going so smooth? What about when things are going hard and the valleys are deep and tough? And it seems like there's no help anywhere. Do we trust God even in those most desperate times of our life? My brothers and sisters, I'm telling you today that we must trust God in all things. Don't you realize that when you trust somebody, you trust them totally with everything that is within you. You would do whatever they ask and whatever they say because you believe in them and you trust them. And that's the way we are supposed to trust God. We are supposed to trust Him like we believe in Him and we know that He will make everything all right. We trust Him with our everyday life. We trust Him with our finances. We trust Him with our family. We trust Him with our health. We trust Him with our situations. We trust Him with our trials and our tribulations because we believe and know who He is. We trust Him if the situation doesn't change because we trust His will, that His will be done. Trust, my friends, is more than just saying you trust someone. You put it in action. I trust you, God. I give it to you, God. I trust that you will have your way, Father. I'm okay with however the outcome happens because I know that it is for your purpose and my good. I trust you that way, God. But do we really trust God? That's the question for today. Do we really trust God in all things? Not just some things, but in all things. Do we trust God when God tells us no? Do we trust that he says this for a purpose and for our own good? Do we trust God that He knows all things? And all things are in His hands and His control? Why do we fear if we trust God? Why are we fearing what's going on in Washington, D.C. now? Why all the chaos and everything, and everybody's in an uproar? And we as believers, we talk about this situation more than anybody else. And we have taken our eyes off of God. And we have actually said that we don't trust that God will take care of us. We don't believe and trust what God says. if we fret and worry, when he said, fear not, for lo, I am with you always, even until the end. We don't trust God when we fret over what we are going to be able to eat, because if we did trust God, we would remember he said that you never see the righteous forsaken, nor his seed beg for bread. Ah, yes. The question today is, do we trust God? Do we really trust God? Do we really trust God? I just want to know tonight. Somebody could tell me today, this evening. And can answer that question by our actions. Do we act like we trust God in all things? I'm interested today about that, because I just want to know. Because the way we act with fear, and when he said, fret not of evildoers, he said, be still and know that I am God. He tells us to look to the hills, from which cometh our help. Our help comes from God. Our help comes from the Lord. Do we really trust God in all things? I want you to think about it as I close this message. Remember, he said, he promised that he will never leave us, that he will always be with us. Who? Me and you. Even until the end. That means forever. Don't put your trust in man. Can't put your trust in Donald Trump or any other man. Because man, he says in the word, will deceive you. Man will lie to you. But God cannot lie. Do we trust him? Think about that. Do we really deeply trust him? Do we trust him enough to give him your total life? Surrender all to him? Or are you still hanging on to a part of it, having not given him that total trust of your life? for him to do his will in your life. Remember that. Ask yourself that question. You know the answer. Do I really trust him? Have I really trusted him in all things? You know the answer to that. God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. It's your brother Jimmy Rand asking you this question. And this question is for all of us. Do we really trust God in all things? That's the question. God bless you.